in the honesty of that, I will say I kind of have to reverse what I said last week. What I said last week is we don't even know if the movie is good. We don't know if the movie is good. This Kodak video is cool, but it don't mean shit to me if the movie ain't good. Well, guess what? The movie was fire. The format was fire. Everything about what he said about like why you need to go see the movie with this format. Oh my God, bro.
And
I
we
will
ain't even
never. Yo, it's the MalloryBros podcast, episode 249. Happy Tuesday. Hope everybody had a killer weekend. We right back for another week. This is a special episode. We one episode away from 250.
Yes, we are, man. 250 next week.
But right now we had the 249. That's a little bit more special to me.
Big shout out to Ontario, Canada. Big shout out to everybody. And what is it? Sudbury, Peterborough. I think this is the
249 Ontario,
everybody
Canada.
that's in the 705. Somebody, did you see somebody said, can't wait till y'all get to my
Can't
city.
wait till y'all get to my city.
Nah.
908 or some shit.
See you in
2030
what
or some shit.
It's going to be like 2030 before we get there. That'll be dope, though. Think about how old you're going to be. You're going to have grades and all that, probably. When you going to let yours come in? Anyway.
Never.
Big shout out to
Never.
everybody.
I'm going to be the old nigga with the all black beignet at y'all kids' graduation. I don't give a damn. Aunt said she ain't going to fuck with it. I don't care.
I'm not going to go overboard, but I can't let the grades come in too crazy.
I'm
Because
not
they be
letting them
coming
come
in
in
now.
at all.
Like. But look, big shout out to everybody in the 705 area.
I'm going to be looking
249 is the
I
area
gotta go
code that
get
covers
my
Sudbury, North Bay, Timmins, Peterborough, and Aurelia, I think. So shout out to y'all. Big shout out to everybody in Toronto, Realist 9 Toronto, Realist 9 Canada. Man. Weekend was jam-packed, I would say.
I ain't going to say super jam-packed, but it was the Easter weekend, so everybody's weekend was pretty much pretty jam-packed per se. Rhodes was definitely busy.
It was Easter weekend, but you know what I also forgot? It was 420 weekend.
It was also WrestleMania weekend. It was
also
also
WrestleMania
NBA
weekend.
playoffs started.
Mhm.
It was a big weekend for sure.
It definitely was. It definitely was. I wrote it to Apothecary on the 19th.
If you're watching this video, I'll start with my weekend recap. Big part of my weekend recap was my overnight scenario, y'all. Believe it or not. I've been working on my overnight scenario since Friday. I can't wait for y'all to see it, especially after us seeing Sinners, because I feel like what I talked about in the overnight scenario kind of like coincides a little bit with what we got to see with Sinners. You know what I mean?
Nah, yeah.
But because in the joint, what I was talking about is the African-American actor versus British black actors and, you know.
Coming and playing
The
over
scarcity of
that
roles
conversation.
over here, scarcity of roles over there, and you know what I'm saying?
I'm definitely ready to see that.
That's going to be a good video.
And I figured Terrance been cooking this joint all weekend.
I know. Honestly, y'all, it grew legs that I couldn't control. This motherfucker Iron Giant.
How long do you think it's going to be?
It ain't going to be that long. It's really going to be it's not going to be the longest one I've ever done. It's just one of those things where I said, damn, this type of subject matter, I'm about to go put this thing. You know, you feel like you got to put it together.
Yeah. You start
I'm
putting
getting clips because I'm feeling like, I was going back and forth with this dude on Twitter, and I'm like, you should just watch the video that I do because I'm not about to sit here and write paragraphs to you back and forth. And the shit that sometimes you talk to a motherfucker on Twitter and you realize the shit that they saying, you need me to type you a lot more than just what's in these characters for you to get it.
Nah, yeah.
Terrell's that way. Yeah,
Well,
sometimes
certain things.
I feel like I need to tell the nigga a million times
Certain things.
7 left, right and left. Fuck out of here, boy.
We're all excited to see the video, nigga. When is it going to drop? Hopefully now. When niggas
Hopefully
see the
when
podcast,
niggas see the podcast, they will see the video
it will for
already.
sure be up. Also, big shout out to everybody that's on MalloryBros Patreon, and big shout out to everybody that watches just on the YouTube that saw our post about the free content tier on Patreon. We have everybody knows we got a $3. Yeah, everybody know we got a $3 tier and a $6 tier. But now over the weekend, that's what's part of weekend recap. We launched our free content collection that is available for the free tier. So all you gotta do is sign up with your email type shit. You don't gotta pay. And if you come to our Patreon and our member, you get to see all of our videos. GNX and Hurry Up Tomorrow, Weekend and Kendrick just went up over there. So if you haven't seen those because you wasn't trying to like pay for the Patreon, now you have no excuse but to go and watch it.
And mind you, that Patreon, when you come to Patreon, Realist 9 is something that is our platform in a way. So there's no ads. You can watch every video, no ads. If you ever wanted to see those videos and they are on YouTube, but you don't want to watch ads, tap in with the Realist 9.
Just become a free member, dog.
Yeah.
Lit. But anything else in your weekend? What did you do on, let's say, what did you do for WrestleMania?
Definitely didn't do anything for WrestleMania. Definitely do anything for WrestleMania. I will say I got to see my family that I haven't seen in a very long time for Easter.
Yes.
That was great. A lot of them got to meet Sunny for the first time, y'all. It was Sunny's first Easter.
Mm-hmm.
She looked so pretty in her dress. That's all I'm going to give y'all. But,
you know what's something, though?
What?
I was thinking about how these motherfuckers met us. Or a lot of y'all.
For the Easter vlogs, yeah.
For the Easter vlogs, yeah. Shout out to everybody that was watching our vlogs back in the day. We used to hide the eggs, and now I'm standing there with a little motherfucker ready to run find these. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, yeah.
It's bro, I done had some crazy.
And then
I be
no
having.
Easter vlog.
I know. And that's,
Yeah,
I know.
But now y'all supposed to also have the little motherfucker that's with the egg.
Can't look. Yeah, you know what? And I be beating myself up about that too.
They say I was with the egg. I grew up on you motherfuckers.
Hey, we got a lot of candy though. You know, crew too young.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Let's go ahead and do that while we do this.
I gave you your little fix. I gave Terrance a little fix of some
This
stuff
nigga
that
had
we
a
got.
punk ass one piece of candy on my chair when I came in, like I'm in second grade. Put a handful in here.
I didn't get but a handful, but we ain't find but 3 eggs.
Oh, you gonna keep all the candy? Is what you saying?
Well, I hate to split it with G. You got a girl, so
You know, Candace called me. She said, "You know, we got all this candy in here. We got lemon heads. We got this." I said, "Bring it. I'm gonna go through that shit before we go to the movies." She forgot it. I was sick.
Damn. She showed up a little bit tardy
and didn't bring their snacks.
Damn. But Easter was dope. I will say Saturday and Sunday for me, I did everything I could before 7 o'clock so I could watch WrestleMania. Literally made it late to both.
Yeah, Terrell was on WrestleMania.
I missed the
heavy.
beginning of the Jey Uso Gunther match, but I saw everything after that, and I got to see the whole WrestleMania day 2. Day 1 was way better this year.
What would you say to somebody who said you're a fucking casual who only watches WrestleMania?
I would say that's bullshit. I would say, come on, you can't do it to me, bro. I literally have spent the last
You've been
month
watching.
and a half of my life trying to catch up.
Yeah.
And then look, why would you turn away a fan like that?
Yeah, don't do that.
That's like somebody saying, "Fuck out of here." You know, you weren't watching the WNBA. You know, you would
There
be
were
like,
people who were doing shit like that. It's like, hold up, you supposed to be.
No, but you know what the bad thing is, Terrance? Y'all was like, hold on, we need more
Yeah, we
fans. Then the new fans came with the NBA logic and said,
Fuck everybody but her.
yeah.
Hold up. No, but let me tell you about Asia Wilson. Look, she's a baller. Oh, fuck her.
Hey, let me tell you about-
wait, you
let
being
me-
disrespectful.
Oh,
Oh, fuck you.
Do you know about Nafisa Collier? But y'all, WrestleMania night 1 was way better than night 2. Night 2, the main event, John Cena. Shout out to John Cena to go.
But I actually got to catch the main event, Terrell. I was going to talk to you about that. I felt like, am I watching this is the main event?
Oh, yeah. Bro, I'm telling you.
I saw the main event last year.
Yeah. And then if you just watched, like, the Elimination Chamber was more entertaining to me than night 2 WrestleMania. I honestly wasn't really excited for Cena, like, to break the record because I'm not, like, the biggest Cena fan. Like, I love Cena, of course, but I'm not, like, Cena's my GOAT. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, yeah.
But he is the GOAT, though. Whether you like it or not, Cena. But he won, and it just, Travis Scott came out. You see, when Travis came out, it was like, yo.
I saw that. I was like, damn, Travis Scott was a part of a big part of...
What the fuck was the point of The Rock doing all of this bullshit if he wasn't even going to be a part of this match? When Travis Scott came out, we was like, oh, bet, Final Boss right behind him. Because they always came together type shit.
Okay, yeah.
But it didn't happen. Anyway, I'm still tapped in, y'all. Still
Ross
tapped in.
fucked us again.
Raw,
Fucked us.
Raw and SmackDown. I'm still tapped in. And I still enjoy WrestleMania overall. Night 1 with the Paul Heyman shit with Seth Rollins, that shit was fire, bro. They had me like jaw dropped on the watching the screen, bro.
The suplex.
I know it's wrestling, whatever, but
I'm not hating, though.
It was WrestleMania weekend. NBA playoffs. Did you watch any? Because I didn't watch none.
Believe it or not, for my overnight scenario, I did my own playoff bracket. I feel like y'all gonna be happy to see that.
Dope.
I feel like my playoff bracket about to be like we're making that happen.
Nigga bracket gonna already be wrong.
Like, I dead ass feel like in what I guessed in my bracket, I'll let y'all know just the end of it if y'all want to see the whole bracket. But
Who's in your finals?
the Los Angeles Lakers and LeBron playing against his hometown team of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Donovan Mitchell and them. I think they going to take out Boston this year in the Eastern Conference Finals and go and play LeBron James with LeBron James playing in his 21st year? Because this ain't 20, right?
All I know is that nigga's 40.
LeBron James playing for a ring, not only for himself, for Luka Doncic, and for his fucking son.
And I want to win.
Against his team that he won a championship for. Can you the NBA gonna make that shit happen,
Now,
Terrell?
can I tell? Okay, now, because I love
NBA
that.
making that
Let me
happen.
tell you, because I love that story.
Yeah.
Right? But is that a realistic end?
I told this
Because is Boston going to lose to...
I just told what's the name of the baby shower, and he was like, yeah, well, they already down 1-0. They're already down one game to the Timberwolves, so that would be nice, but it is looking like they got smacked by the Timberwolves week 1, first game. So by the time y'all seeing this, I think they're going to have played again. Hopefully they not down 0-2. Because Lakers is a part of my picks. If you want to see more of my picks, you can go and watch the overnight scenario. It's on my Patreon.
He ain't pick my Celtics. Why would I subscribe for more bullshit?
Why would I honestly finish watching this bullshit? I thought they was talking about Michael B.
Yeah. But that was a big part. We might as well get to that. If you did not see Sinners and you about to watch this podcast, y'all, we're going to have to talk about spoilers. And I'm sorry, but we have to. We got to talk
It'll
about this
be
film.
good because you're gonna go see Sinners and you'll be able to come back.
You can come back and watch this chapter.
It'll
Yeah,
be
right.
a double bonus for you, actually.
So, I went to go see Sinners with the Fion on Friday. So I got to see it first.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Terrance knows that I like the film, whatever. But Terrance went to go see the film literally before he got here. So I have no idea what he thinks. So I really kind of want you to figure out where we start with
100%. Just went and saw the film, and shout out to the people that might have been in there with me. If you seen me in there, whatever. We sat in front of these girls that narrated the film the entire time.
Oh, that's the worst.
And that was the worst shit ever, young. I'm gonna keep it 100. It's so annoying when people have to like say everything that they see when they watching a movie. You're sitting in a movie theater where you're supposed to be quiet. Why the fuck you think they told us to turn our phones off? We sitting in a movie theater, and every single thing that said, they have a spoken reaction to. It's these 3 girls. They sat right behind us. A-Train was irritated, but she ain't get real aggressive. You know how your girl get real aggressive, like an aggressive dog, and you're like, I gotta get this motherfucker away. You're gonna be like, why are they talking? Why are they talking? You like, oh shit, about to be in some shit.
That's because y'all went to a weak ass AMC.
Oh, no, but like, A-Train wasn't on that. But you're right. It's a Monday. I'm thinking, I told On last night, I said, you see all these seats filling up? Don't even sweat it. That's the matinee crowd. That's going to be all old folks. We in there with all youngins. This YN standing on the corner up the steps.
Terrance, think about it.
Go to your seat, nigga.
Think about it. It's the day after Easter. These little bad motherfuckers is on spring break still.
Yeah, this niggas in there with fits on and bubble coats.
Me and Gigi was out and said, why the fuck is so many kids in here? Oh.
And you know what, y'all? Me and Terrell been on some bougie. Me and Terrell. Me and been on some bougie shit looking at Gigi and Terrell. So our last couple movie trips, Cine Bistro, Alamo Bowl House or whatever.
Uh-huh.
I'm not used to having a motherfucker right here.
Yeah.
Me and was like, yo, we sitting right next to motherfuckers again. I said, ain't no comfort seats. No recline, Terrell. We sat and watched that bitch.
These motherfuckers watching movies.
But we watched it on IMAX. Did you get to watch it on IMAX?
No.
Oh my God, you didn't get to see it then.
Well, y'all got to
You haven't seen Sinners. You have 3 days left.
Y'all know my specialty in college was cinematography, so I feel like I didn't have to see it in 70 to understand what I was looking at. Like,
yeah,
I understand me. You know how Shannon Sharp watched the game on silent? It could be on a little small screen. I don't need to see all the
nigga wanted Wagyu beef sliders more than he wanted a large format.
And y'all know first of all, comfort, bro. I need to be comfortable watching a movie, bro. I don't, like you said, especially for a big release like this, bro. We was going to see something like. And we were going to see something like Mickey 17 or something, bro. I would have been completely fine going to the AMC. But The last time I went to an AMC, me and Candace went to go see Spider-Man with Tom
Holland. And,
Tom
the
Holland
joint
and
where he
all
walked
the-
through.
Bro, that shit was crazy, but it felt like a motherfucker was on top of me and below me. I felt like I was in one of them water
I told
canoes.
you the girls was right there. Look, so let me give you a real quick example of what the girls would do. In the movie, she'll be like, do you want some water? Yes, he wants some water. Oh, okay, well, we have bottled water, we have Dasani, and we have Deer Park. Ooh, Dasani. Like, are you going to do this the whole time? And then, like, look, it's Michael B. Jordan. So I get it, but, like...
Terrance, no, you know what you have to do in that situation?
You just gotta sit through it.
No,
it's a
you
part
have
of them,
to say something to them.
Sure, no, it's a part of that. Then I'm ruining the experience for everybody.
But you know what's gonna happen? They ass will stop. If you say, yo, y'all gonna do that the whole time, even if they go, boy, fuck out of here, I don't give a fuck. Watch this. Look, if that happens, you know what's gonna happen though. You just embarrass the shit out of them. They're not gonna keep doing it, or they're gonna keep doing it and it's gonna be spiteful, and you just in a ghetto ass theater now. Because
I don't want to put A-Train in that position.
Nah, yeah.
With 3 joints, you know what I mean? Because low-key, I don't even think about myself. Y'all don't really want smoke with A-Train, low-key.
I'm getting ready to say, 3 girls versus me and G.
I don't think y'all want that smoke with A-Train.
I'm gonna let G fight all 3 of y'all by herself?
Me. A-Train is not like the girl that's like, you know?
Nah, yeah.
I don't think she's not a whatever girl, but you know what I mean? But I'll be like, yo, we could do that, but then it's going to turn into, she's not going to back down. It's going to turn into...
It's really going to be action, and I really don't want that.
She's not confrontational like that at all, but I felt like in the face of that, I wouldn't want her to have to be like...
You wouldn't even want to put your girl your woman in a position to have to make that decision. Because you're a real one. You're a real one. All right, bet. To the actual movie.
Film.
Imagine if you click this chapter and you're like... Fuck, do they start talking about the film?
Girl. Talking about they seat still.
What did you think about the movie, bro? I don't know what you thought. First reaction, first thoughts. You literally are fresh from the theater.
I am. I feel like I feel like
I'm Lisa Salters out front. Like, oh, you just saw Sinners.
First and foremost, this theater. Well, look, I feel like it's only right for me to come on here and say after last week, because I feel like we had a good conversation that kind of tailed off last week and made it look like I was hating on my man RC, and I'm not that type of dude. I'm not hating. And I feel like I tell Terrell all the time, me and Terrell go back and forth a lot about like some of the shit y'all might see online. Like we were talking about that Variety article, and I was telling him like, I don't respond so emotionally as everybody else. I sometimes respond very logical, and it's because I was a student of this first. So whenever news come out about movie shit, I think like a student first, you know? I don't think with my black card first all the time, and that's no shade, but sometimes I got points that are well made. Sometimes I be missing shit. So in the honesty of that, I will say I kind of have to reverse what I said last week. What I said last week is we don't even know if the movie is good. We don't know if the movie is good. This Kodak video is cool, but it don't mean shit to me if the movie ain't good. Well, guess what? The movie was fire. The format was fire. Everything about what he said about like why you need to go see the movie with this format. Oh my God, bro.
And
I will never be able to get that experience on my phone or on my TV at home. Bro, do you know the format?
Your words.
First off, Terrell,
you would literally have to reverse, but like you said, you got to reverse what you said last week.
I'm not, but this my thing, y'all.
Last week like shit, boy.
The only part that I have to reverse, y'all, before y'all start getting too comfortable, because a lot of y'all like to say, Terrance, this wrong. Look at y'all celebrating. Terrance, this wrong. Look at them.
I'm not celebrating. I'm saying, look, you are though.
No, but you think I'm taking everything I said back
Backpedal
last
gang.
week. No, this not backpedal, because only backpedal because I felt like I disrespected, bro, because people started saying.
I think that super sexy songs for you was actually album of the year.
No, that's not that. No, that's not that. I felt bad that people felt like I was gonna think that the movie wasn't gonna be good.
Nah, yeah.
Because I always, even in that joint, I was saying that the movie was good. However, even me saying film is dying, and y'all saying, oh, but he loved it when he went and saw it. Yeah, my nigga.
But it's still, you did
Like,
make good points though.
I love listening to a vinyl record. I love to listen to a record on my record player, but like I'd be dumb to say,
Nah,
fuck that
yeah.
streaming shit. Buy this.
This song is gonna sound way better with a
sound
receiver
better on
and big speakers, but guess what? Sound bars, unfortunately.
Ryan Coogler impressed me with the way he used the format changing. Just to start on format before we get into anything story, I feel like if you go see Sinners, and if you're seeing this, it might be a little too late because it's not going to be in theaters for IMAX for that long. Because you got Thunderbolts that's getting ready to come out, and they're going to take over all IMAX screens.
Damn. Well, then I need to go. I need to go back.
You want to go back and get and see it in IMAX?
Yeah.
You 100%. Anybody that's hearing this right now, if you can see it in IMAX, go and see it in IMAX because the way the frames change. Now, Christopher Nolan has changed frames before. We've seen it.
Mm-hmm.
But the way Ryan Coogler actually changes frames, I felt like, wow, like he actually used this shit artistically. I'm not going to say the spoiler because we just at the very beginning we haven't even gotten to the story. There's a part where they actually get to enter. The part where, y'all remember the part in the trailer where they all have the wooden stakes and they got everything, and the part where the girl done said,
oh yeah,
whatever, and then they come in.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're watching in IMAX, and I'm only saying this because we're talking about the format. When you're watching it in IMAX, it's in just the regular 35 format when they're waiting to come in. And then literally when they come into the door, the screen goes super tall into IMAX when they come in.
That's crazy.
And it's like, when they come in, you feel like it just came into IMAX. I was looking at A-Train the whole time like, that was fire. You see the shots. You see the lights.
And you know what's crazy, Terrance? We did not have an experience. Our screen was set to 235-1.
Oh, okay,
so
yeah.
like we didn't get that grandness, that change, bro. We got no changes. I saw Sinners for story.
Yeah,
I did not see it in IMAX. I always told myself, I'm bringing G. She don't give a fuck about all of this. So guess what? She gonna get a good meal, and I get to see the movie that I always want. We gotta sit up, just take advantage, and you get to see the movie for the pod.
Yeah, because the girl don't be giving a fuck for real.
But you know,
I really wanted to see it in IMAX and appreciated being able to see it in IMAX.
I'm going back to see that shit in IMAX. But damn, I didn't realize that.
Bro, yes.
I didn't realize that.
So, stylistically, artistically, the film is sitting on a level, y'all, where you're going to enjoy looking at this film if you enjoy looking at beautifully shot films. Mm-hmm. All is quiet on a Western Front. The Army film that was the German-led joint from Netflix. I didn't understand a word of that movie when I first watched it, but it was so beautiful. I said, let me find the subtitles. Let me just try to watch this the way it looked.
And now, I mean, every frame of that movie.
Every frame.
You can tell was like.
And Sinners is that, Terrell.
Sinners is that.
Who was the cinematographer on Sinners?
Oh my God, a girl named Autumn Durald Arkapaw.
Black woman? White woman? It don't matter. Woman power.
Woman. She is a woman. She did Black Panther. Wakanda
she
Forever.
Smoked it.
She is amazing, bro. I gave her props on, I think, a couple of pods ago and said I was excited. When we talked about Sinners before, I said I was excited because, bro, I swear, giving a cinematographer the landscape of period piece, Western vibe, warm lit, cool night as what you need to pull off. Dog, it's like a fucking softball of opportunity what you can do.
Telling you.
And so to see what they were able to do,
they smoked it. One of my favorite shots in the whole joint definitely was an IMAX. And I told Ann, I said, this is premier IMAX. You could tell it's in the pitch black night, but the sky is absolute like violet blue. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if it was Cornbread or whoever that was, but he's up there like fixing a light and the sparks are coming off the light. The way that looked, because it was dark and his silhouette was this hard ass black over a black blue.
Man,
I told Ann, I was like, I kept saying, I was like, this is IMAX right here. This is why it's IMAX. The scene in the end with Michael B. Jordan, Scene in the end where Michael B. Jordan has the gun looking over the dude, and they hold on him for a long time. We had that in picture perfect IMAX. I told Ann, I said, they could have just left this shot for 20 seconds.
Yeah.
And it would just be beautiful because he's in IMAX. Look at this. This is the biggest format we ever gonna see.
Anyway, Performance.
No. Before we get it, we gotta stay on. We still talking about looks.
We're still talking about the aesthetic. Yeah.
One thing I was gonna say about this film. This film has a lot of night shoots. Terrell, you remember what it was like learning about night shoots, and you know what it's like watching a movie that has night shoots. Like when you talk about the level of cinematography, you get a little bit of a benefit when you got the day to play with. We can play with the sun.
Yeah.
We can play with regular lighting. We don't have to convince people a lot where we are. I felt like they definitely had a day go into night.
Yeah.
And they captured all of it. They captured sun setting, sun go down. That's a big part of it. I mean, you got a vampire film, you're going to have to focus on sun setting.
Yeah.
And the dusk. No pun.
No pun to Dusk Till Dawn is a very similar kind of film where it's a vampire film in one day.
I will say this, y'all. Maybe I'm a little premature saying this. I was going to wait to the end. Y'all know I'm a big Quentin Tarantino fan. Buddy on Twitter was pressed to say that. Yeah, I am. That Sinners, there's no way you saw From Dusk Till Dawn and didn't immediately be like, oh, all right, bet. We got a black From Dusk Till Dawn with that. It is literally low-key Terrell, the exact same film. Well, I'm not gonna get deep into that. I'm just gonna say that and just leave it on wax.
I think,
but not copy though, not copycat.
I think
you
the
know?
bones of it.
Yeah.
The bones of it is basically From Dusk Till Dawn.
Yeah, and I want you to imagine, if it was a jet movie and somebody said, oh, this is like the black Top Gun, that's not like copycat. That means it's a black version of its own thing. Yeah.
For sure.
I think the just to move forward as far as performances.
Hold on, wait. I did want to say this before we get to performance. Ruth E. Carter, who's an Oscar winner, multiple Oscar winner. She did her motherfucking thing on costume design. She killed it, bro. She killed it.
That team is just unbeatable, Terrell.
Yeah.
What was your favorite look?
My favorite look had to be the looks for the actual Jew. The looks. My favorite, because Ruth E. Carter actually does. Is she production design, Terrance, or is she costume design?
She might be both, Terrell. She might be both. But I think, no, she's costume.
But I don't know what she did on this film.
Okay.
I think she did. She always do costume. So I think she did a costume. So that's what I'm referring to. When they actually had the juke and everybody, all the black folks dancing.
Yeah.
It could be very easily missed, but a lot of what they put on helps sell that.
Yeah, a lot of those
the
colors.
actual place.
They're on a brown. They got a brown canvas.
Yeah.
Just like when a painter painted that beautiful painting that everybody alludes to when they saw the film, he started with brown probably. You know,
you
or
start
got
with
brown, a heavy brown in
Yeah.
it.
You know, the pop of color comes from everybody in motion. Hey, I do want to know what you think. Oh, all right, bet. Let's go to performance. Because I really want to know certain things about what you thought about certain scenes. So let's just get everything out the way. Let's go
Here we go, because we're going to get the story.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anything that comes, you can. I would say, and I'm going to go on record with this. Everybody was talking about Delroy Lindo's performance. I seen people talking about the girl who played Annie. I loved her. She was in Lovecraft Country.
Oh, yeah. One Me. Her name
One
is,
Me. Yeah, One Me.
Me. Yeah.
I was trying to tell
Her name
Candace, her name, I
is
couldn't
One
get
Me Mosaku.
Yes, man.
She killed it.
She's a phenomenal actress, y'all. She is phenomenal. And the reason why she's phenomenal is because of the passion that she acts with. Her passion that she acts with, it can reach heights that we've seen people like Viola Davis tap into, believe it or not. When we get to scenes, I'm going to talk more about. She does. And it's not about the way she looks. It has nothing to do with her complexion. And when I'm saying this, y'all, I'm talking about her acting.
Yeah. It's pure
prowess. The way it's able to get up there.
The way she can execute her role, like the emotion that she delivered with, like.
You could tell they needed a powerful woman for this role, you know, to be able to go next to Smoke, who's this powerful ass dude. Who could minimize him? Who could make him small? His woman. Well, then that woman has to exude power. You know what I mean? And I feel like in that scene, and now we kind of jump into the scene combo, but in the scene where he's like talking about what he's done, power, I always saw that in the trailer thinking, oh, he got all the power in this scene. He must be talking to somebody. I didn't realize that was actually low-key his weakest moment in the film when he got in front of his woman. He was weak. We found out what your weakness is. Your woman and what y'all lost. And you know, that was kind of tough for me and A. We was in that joint like...
Nah, yeah. It was a very touchy. Especially the end.
Bro, yes.
Like, yeah.
But,
bro, especially when I got a twin brother.
Oh yeah, 100%. I looked at the movie completely different. I looked at the movie completely different.
That's why, bro. That's why
I loved it, Terrell. I loved it because I said I'm a twin. I'm a black man, and they did something in this movie that I'm going to talk about last. That is the reason why I just said I love the movie.
Okay. We talking about performance.
Michael B. Jordan deserves Oscar recognition. You are hearing me say this live on a podcast.
This is crazy.
Michael B. Jordan is somebody that I have told Terrell.
This is crazy.
Terrell, what'd I tell you though?
Terrance, y'all don't know. Terrance has been.
I've been on Michael B. Jordan's.
I've been a Michael B. Jordan.
Back.
I've been a Michael B. Jordan fan since the first season of The Wire. He always
So
been
have
wild.
I. Don't do me like that.
So no, I'll say this. 2014, I watched The Wire for the first time and just so happened to figure out that Ryan Coogler, a black filmmaker, I'm in film school watching all these white filmmakers. I'm looking for black filmmakers. I found out it's a nigga from California that's working with Michael B. Jordan. Remember bruh from The Wire? Remember he was in Fantastic Four? Remember he was in...
Yeah, remember he was in...
I figure out these niggas doing a movie together. 2013 shit.
Yeah.
Right? I've been a Michael B. Jordan fan since then.
Yeah.
I saw what he was able to do when he was like, we just trying to get home. Oh! I cried in that theater.
We all cried. Don't do that.
And guess what, though? You walked out of that theater, and years later, you would trash that man because...
Hold on, wait, Terrell. Did you cry because of the
his
acting?
Performance.
Or did you cry?
He had to deliver that, Terrance.
Because when you went home and switched from that, it was
That's like saying,
Trayvon.
did you cry because...
When you went home and switched from that, it was Mike Brown. Shit was live.
Terrance, but still.
Out trauma in the theaters, but we ain't gonna talk about that.
You are right about that. But I think the nigga performance was so good that I felt like he could get there. And guess what? Michael B. Jordan been doing good movies, but his performance has always been able for Terrance to come and say that he can't act for real, whatever.
I never said he couldn't act.
Not can't act, but like he still need to prove that he can. You used to say stuff like he can't,
when we talk about...
he's box office and that's it. He can't, but look, Jonathan Majors has this and that. Guess what, nigga? Didn't even need your man. Fuck out of here. Now go ahead and say how Michael B. Jordan deserves Academy Award nomination, and you need to walk on your words back. And this whole podcast is a nigga walking back his old takes.
Let me say this. I'm not walking back no old take because I told Terrell, Michael B. Jordan needed to prove to me that he could be a real number one. Okay? You could talk about Creed. I told Terrell, a lot of people are going to see Creed for reasons outside of Michael B. Jordan. You know how many legacy Creed fans are going to see Creed that are legacy Rocky fans? You know how many people are going to see Black Panther and stuff like that because of the comics and stuff like that? I told Terrell, I want to see Michael B. Jordan do something in a lead role that makes me say what I just said, which is, yo, that brother stepped up there and he convinced me that he was two different people. For a whole movie, he convinced me that he was two different people. I felt like the best thing about this performance for Michael B. Jordan and why I want him to get an Oscar nomination is because it's proof that an actor, to you, what have I been saying? Let's just act, just be an actor, because low-key, you're really good at that. Like, an actor is a lot like a center, y'all. An actor, like a seasoned actor, they are always like centers. You know what that mean? What happened with the NBA center after a while?
They started shooting.
Them motherfucker want to shoot a three. But you the best on the block. But guess what? We low-key, if we gonna have you on this team, we gotta let you take a couple threes. Fuck it.
Yeah.
But when he get in the paint and we win, we ain't gonna talk about how that's your best thing until you're holding a trophy up. And to me, Michael B. Jordan with Creed, with some of the other things that he had his hands in a little bit more, I feel like that when you pushing the ship, it's hard to jump in and out of those roles.
Yeah.
Getting back under Ryan, you could tell that he was like, okay, bet, you know what? I'm just gonna go back to being just the best paintbrush in this dude's drawer, whatever he need. I'm double it. So like low key, he got to put on two different performances in the same movie.
Yeah. How you think he did with the accent?
I love
the accent. I thought he smoked
it. An looked at me 10, 15 minutes in, because who y'all think hears the most of my little takes? An. She looked at me 15 minutes into the movie and goes, I think he stepped up the acting. I said, yeah, he's smoking it.
I need her reaction, man. I need her review.
One thing I will tell y'all about A-Train is she really enjoyed that joint.
Yeah.
She thoroughly enjoyed it. It's nothing like taking your girl to a movie that she really enjoyed. You and your girl ever go to a movie and y'all think, oh, that was cool.
And you know what it is, Terrance? You know what's fucked up? We kind of got these women, y'all like, traumatized by us being film students because at the end, every time me and Gigi go see something, right?
At the end,
she's sitting up like wondering if what I'm gonna say.
An did the same thing. An was like, what are you gonna say about that? I was like, I feel like a lot of people, y'all, thought that I was gonna hate on this movie, and I'm gonna tell y'all why. The movie.
Did y'all stay for the end credits?
Yeah, we stayed for the end credits. But I didn't feel like
all of them?
Yeah, but I didn't really feel like I needed to stay for all of the last one.
Okay.
I said, all right, we get it. Sammy.
We did not stay for the very last one.
Oh, you didn't?
I thought I knew it was a post credit, but I didn't know it was a. I know it was an end credit. I didn't know it was a post.
Yeah, post credit. I like that he took that from Marvel.
Love it.
I'm doing it now.
I'm snatching your shit.
Mm-hmm.
So what?
Now, as far as performance, Terrell, your favorite performances before we move on.
My favorite performance, hands down.
Delroy. You a Delroy fan. When I saw Delroy and then he looked up, I didn't know. I was in the theater I just started cracking up laughing.
Yes.
I
Me
literally
too.
just started smiling. I said, I love him.
It felt like I saw my uncle on the screen.
Yeah,
Come on, bro.
I love him.
We grew up on if you
black?
black and you grew up on what?
Crooklyn.
If you grew up on Crooklyn.
I grew up on Crooklyn. That dude looks like my
He played he played the Haitian dude in Malcolm X. He has been everywhere.
He's the Five Bloods. That's a Spike Lee man.
He's the Five Bloods, yes. This is the thing about Delroy too. It's a funny the conversation.
Just about to tell Ami, man, I'm gonna let you go. He is literally the crowd control king.
He is.
King actor crowd control. Go ahead.
He, it's a conversation online about British actors, whatever, because Delroy was born in London.
Okay, yeah.
Moved to Toronto, I think, at 11, but he been in the States. He been in LA since he was 13 years old. So the Brits were like, yeah, British actors. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And technically, you're right, but Delroy Lindo grew up a very Black American life. He grew up a very Black American life. He never played a role that I felt like he couldn't connect to because he wasn't there for the fabric of
not
at
all.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Delroy, yes. He was born in London. It's almost like celebrating 21 Savage being from UK. It's almost like saying, hey, UK rappers, but you talking about 21 Savage, a nigga that grew up in Atlanta basically.
Yeah, it's like,
okay,
okay, the born
you're
part.
gonna get the W, but but like, come on. And then I think he's Jamaican too. So I'm not saying he's Black American. I'm just saying, the nigga grew up playing what? Us. And been riding for us. That's why we love Delroy.
100%.
Anyway.
His name is Delroy.
Yeah. Anyway, Delroy Lindo, to me, Oscar nomination. If he don't get a nomination for that role, bro, the scene where he was talking about the men on the road.
Yeah.
He was talking about what happened. I love the dialogue that Ryan Coogler gave him. It felt very much like what I feel watching Samuel Jackson in any Tarantino film. Cause Tarantino know how to write for Sam.
Yeah.
He know you could put Samuel Jackson in anything. Even when he was the piano player in Kill Bill.
Yeah.
Like, it don't matter what QT write for Sam, I'm gonna fuck with it because he knows how to bring the best out of him. I feel like Ryan Coogler's what he wrote for Delroy, he had a line, you know the line, when Sammy is like, my father told me the devil was gonna come for me, it's my fault. And Delroy stepped up on some leadership, the old head in the group shit, and was like, yo, I done tangled with the devil so many times. If he wanna get to you, he gonna have to come past his old friends, such and such Slim. I love that dialogue for Delroy. And it takes somebody with his caliber to be able to deliver that and it be believable.
Yeah.
You know?
100%.
And me really feel it without it feeling like writing.
And do y'all know, in the video I talk about in the Overnight Scenario, where I talk about British actors versus American Black actors, I talk about how when an when a Black American sits down to watch their story on screen, and we see people like a Delroy Lindo who has a viral video where he's like, say the word. We've seen him fight our fight outside the screen. So seeing him doing that on the screen, it means a little bit more to us artistically. His words sound different than somebody who is just the right skin complexion. and couldn't put on the right tone. If I know you came from it, if I know you had the same struggle as me, the art looks different. To get up there
Hey,
and
hold
say,
on, wait, we got not gonna get
I know
too
I'm
deep
going
on
on
the
tangent.
nigga because we need to
I'm
get
on
back
the
to what's
overnight
name.
with that. But we back on Delroy.
Yes, but Delroy absolutely smoked it for me. And he just played the role that I feel like he delivered an Oscar-worthy performance and completion to that role, all the way to his end. And you can say his character, and you know how sometimes the character's arc in the story alone is dope as shit. So whoever delivers it is kind of like almost a cheat code toward an Oscar. This felt like that for Delroy. I also thought Wunmi Mosaku did great. But honestly, bro, my favorite performance in the movie, probably because I felt like he was the most underdog when it came to it, is Michael B. Jordan. He smoked it, bro. He had to deliver. He had to be two people. He had to not be Michael B. Jordan. And this was the first film of his that I have watched in a very long time where I don't see Michael B. Jordan. I lost Michael B. Jordan for a minute.
Lost him in his two characters.
Yeah.
And my question to everybody who's watching this, if you have it, or if you wondering as far as the awards ceremony stuff goes, what should a lead guy have, right? If you ask me, a lead guy should have a peak in his performance. Something that says, yo, he's killing it. Just one thing. I think he should have a valley of emotions. He should show a certain sense of a high and a certain sense of a low, and we should feel it. I feel like he should also command the story. We should feel like when we see the main character, we're back knowing where this is going. And that was the best thing with Ryan and Michael B. Jordan in unison. That's director, actor.
Yeah.
When we get back with the twins, we like, okay, bet. We got some order back going on. That's a great attribute to both of them. I think also when you think about what does a supporting character do? A supporting character supports the story. When we don't have the lead characters, what is the best parts? It's Delroy. Bro, I'm telling you, he deserves supporting nomination for the simple fact that, like, that's textbook support. Comedic relief. There was parts where he was super important. There was parts where he wasn't important at all. There was parts where his words meant the most. There was parts where he was just a funny guy. And even in his death, I felt like he was able to hold on to the character that he was. Bro, it's not easy to do that, and you got to have the text to support it.
Now, what do you think about, I think his name is Miles Caton. He played Sammy.
Yeah.
A lot of people, he's the runaway performance for them because he sung his ass off, acted his ass off. He just he did a great job in his role, bro. He had to play like, I'm the cousin of these niggas who got all this power and who will kill niggas, and I'm not really on that type shit. I'm conflicted a little bit, but you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Love the fact that he ended up taking down Shorty in the bathroom. I love that. I love that Ryan Coogler wrote that in there.
Yeah, I thought Ryan Coogler said, fuck it, I'm on my freaky deaky.
Get on your John Singleton. That's John Singleton bag right there. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, yeah. I like Miles' performance, and I told On that's the steal your heart performance of the movie. That's the one that has your heartstrings tied in. We open a movie with him to soften you up. You do not open your movie. You can't open that movie, at least that movie, with the twins. They too tough. You have to bring them in slow because when they come in, that's the movie. That's them. I feel like Miles is a perfect piece. Sammy's character should let y'all know, and I was gonna tell you this because we're starting to get towards the story. Sammy's character lets you kind of see a viewpoint into what we was looking for, Terrell, which is Ryan Coogler's style, his directorial style. We actually know what his bag is now, bro, and it's low key deep as fuck. His bag. We're not gonna get into that yet. We're gonna stay on Miles.
Okay.
Miles is the runaway performance of the movie and the one that steals your heart because his character is literally made for that, bro. I told I said if they made Sammy's character a little bit older, a little bit more mature, then you might not feel the same way about it.
Even if he was taller.
Even if
he was the same height as them niggas, it would take away from what they were able to execute.
Yeah. I told he had a Lil Saint vibe with him. It's a Lil Saint. Like, black people don't realize this, but we should. A lot of times in our movies, we have a Lil. We have a Lil whatever. Like, I told On, I said halfway through the movie when he said, he was like, yo, Smoke, or what was it, brother? Stack. Yo, Stack, I feel like I'm flying. Remember, he was on cloud 10 after the juke joint?
he was.
I told On, I was like, She was like, why you do that? I said, I'm a C. Only reason why I did that is because I said, you know what that means, Terrell. They gonna G-baby him. He gonna die.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Because he's soft. He even told the girl.
He's the innocent.
I'm not always a nice guy. She said, those your brothers? You a nice guy. I'm not always a nice guy. Oh, you got us then. You are us. The audience, we are Sammy the whole movie. That's why we finished with Sammy.
But I never thought Sammy would die because I know he goes to that church. I was worried for him.
Yeah. That's why you don't realize you get Sammy's
because
viewpoint the whole time.
You don't know what type Sammy walked in that church. I don't know if he walked in that joint fresh with a bite or he ain't changed yet because he walked in that joint on some zombie shit. Oh, never mind. He drove the fuck. You can't drive the truck over that joint. Well,
they could because they was out there manipulating the fuck out of motherfuckers. They're vampires. They still can live a regular life. That's why Michael B. Jordan was alive.
Bullshit.
Yeah, I love vampires. Anyway, Brody, I'm telling you, Sammy is the character that is it's almost like the reason why your heart loves him is because you are Sammy. You're watching the movie through Sammy. Like, we're going to get into the story, but bro, I'm telling you, the way that the way that Ryan Coogler kind of mapped it out, you can kind of see his thing. It's very similar to his last movie, too.
Yes. And I guess let's go to this. Direction, storytelling. Let's talk about that.
I think, okay. First and foremost, the movie is a tremendous ride, if you ask me. I did see a review where somebody said that it was a little long and it takes a minute to get started. And I feel like those are people who can't relate to the subject matter, I think.
Well, let me give you my take on that real quick before you go. I wanted to ask you what you thought about the fact that this movie is marketed as horror. Like, yo, it's a horror film. But where a lot of those reviews that I saw where people are like, it takes a little long to get started, that means it take a little long for it to like get intense.
To the horror, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The horror part of it really shouldn't have been marketed this way. It should have been marketed as a thriller. It is a thriller. True and true. It is not a horror film. To me, it's not scary at all. I mean, it's a little creepy. And I'm not gonna lie, in the beginning, when he was walking in that church and then Ramek was popping up, that was like, oh, okay, it is about to be scary. But outside of that, couple jump scares, but it was not that. I wouldn't consider it horror. I would 100% consider it thriller. Yeah. Shutter Island is scarier than that movie.
100%. Yeah.
You know?
I saw Spike Lee say that he invented a whole new genre with it. He invented a whole new genre with this film. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Like, that film doesn't necessarily have a language. They had to put it somewhere. You know what I mean? I guess they had to throw it in horror because of
They could have 100% called it a thriller. It is a thriller, bro. The way you feel, the way you are like edge of your seat, bro, that's thrill, bro.
Nah, yeah. One thing that I have been very vocal about not liking is sometimes our trauma, it seems like we have to relive our trauma when we watch some of these movies. I was telling even though I love the movie, I still cringe a little bit when Delroy Lindo told the story about the dude who got hung and they cut his privates off. I still cringe a little bit at them driving through a cotton field. The end with the Ku Klux Klan still being a part of it and stuff like that. It's the time period, so I told it's acceptable. I just, still got to hold water on the fact that, okay, bet, vampires, I'm so happy with this. But even still, I'm ready to put this not behind me because it's a great movie and I love it. It's one of my favorite movies I feel like I've seen in almost like a decade. I can't lie, y'all. I was feeling a little bit a way about like some of the stuff like that because I feel like we can make dope movies like that without two things. Without making us feel bad and without trying to make somebody else feel bad. Because I told remember when there was Irish dancing? I said, we going from like the good black music to like the
And you see how the white music wasn't trash?
Bro, that shit was trash.
No, people was talking about how when they started playing,
they could sing.
Did you notice how? Yeah, so it wasn't as good as what they was playing in the juke, but I feel like a great way to help sell the what do you call it when it's like tempting? The temptation of that lifestyle is these motherfuckers showed up and started singing, and it was like, they're not bad. Like,
yeah.
They didn't sound terrible. It was like, y'all sound good, but that type of music, you could probably go over there and find. You remember what he told them?
Yeah.
But I like the fact that they made it seem like they were good. The lifestyle of being a vampire, not even gonna lie, it wasn't hard to think somebody might say, fuck it, I'm about to do that shit. You know what I'm saying?
And that's where we get more into Ryan Coogler and, like I said, his style. Bro, he's deep cut. The scene where I feel like obviously the most powerful scene in the film is obviously where we go through like almost like the history of
Man, I need to know what you think when you. I need to know what you thought when that happened, bro. Let's talk now. Now we can get to the. This is what everybody came to see. The scene in the motherfucking juke.
The scene in the juke.
Man, that cutaway scene where it's just Delroy and Sammy, and he tell that man, and it's a straight on shot. Love the fact that they use this to basically make Delroy Lindo talk to us. They let his character talk to us and say, they gave us this religion to control us. But with this, he pointed to the nigga's guitar. He was like, we can transcend something.
No, he told him, he said,
we can.
But this, we brought here with us.
Yeah.
This we
and he
brought
was
here
like,
with
look,
us.
this we brought here with us. And this
we can transcend through time or something like that. Like we could travel time with it.
Terrance, you don't know how trippy it was for me.
Terrell.
The nigga just comes out with an electric guitar next to him.
And I'm like, what is he doing there?
Yeah.
And guess what? Guess what you started seeing, Terrell? You started to see Black American culture that they say we don't have. And guess who got to see it when they sat and watched that film?
Black
American people.
We love that shit. It was all our shit.
That's
you know
all
what?
our shit.
And it's shit that we wasn't proud of in there too. Like a lot of people didn't like the girl twerking, right?
Yeah.
But guess what, y'all? It's designed to show the truth of what everything have become.
Because guess what, y'all? You went from going to a juke joint and dancing that way to now, when we go out, y'all, as a culture, it evolved to that. But why do we think it's bad? Because other people look down on twerking?
Nah, but because...
You know, because they looked down on the juke joints back then. You see how you looking down on the twerking?
That's true. And my favorite part of that, bro, my favorite part of that scene is the fact that in the juke, you're seeing all these different generations of... That's why it's so important, the fact that he's down that joint playing an acoustic guitar, y'all. And then a nigga comes with a should be plugged into an amp,
an electric guitar.
It's like, oh, okay, we going way...
You see the break dancers dancing with the swing dances.
Yes.
You even saw the Chinese culture mix. And low-key,
love that.
This is the beautiful part of it. This is where you get Ryan Coogler's directorial style, Terrell. That scene, bro. All of a sudden, everybody's dancing. All of the cultures mix. One of the most beautiful things about that, when you talk about like symbolic things, is the symbolism behind that is like, this is what's always been acceptable for us any time period. Mm-hmm. It don't matter. Any culture. We always be down to have a good time, right? Mm-hmm. It don't matter who. We're famously known for inviting anybody to the cookout. I thought it was so dope to see all of those cultures mixed because for generations, this is what we've done to have a good time.
Not yet.
Right? But I think what was even doper is Ryan Coogler takes it deeper. It almost feels like the scenes in Black Panther where we go into the place where
the ancestrals
are, right? Or whenever he was about to take the herb, I've started to realize, okay, that was Ryan's style. Do you see what Ryan did? He goes from the group of the people to the ceiling, which is what?
Burning.
And I told On, okay, the roof is on fire. That's more Black American shit.
Think about that.
More Black American shit.
Hold on, wait. I didn't even think about that.
When it looks up, the house is burning, and look, all of the embers come off the roof because the roof is on fire. That's Black American shit.
Hold on, wait. The way I interpreted that was, I looked at it like, okay, he said we brought this with us, and this is going to transcend culture and time. Then we get electric guitar. So I said the ceiling coming off, I looked at it like how we always talk about breaking through ceilings.
Yeah.
And how at this point, when it came to the music, we were no longer encased in that and we were free. I felt like the freedom part, I felt like I didn't think about the roof is on fire, but that's crazy.
And what's craziest about it is we still transcended time. The roof was on fire and then burned the building down until all it was you saw Cornbread sitting in front of a fence and you saw black people dancing in a fence like we did in slavery days.
Nah, yeah. Everything is intentional.
I watched my aunt's line dancing on Easter. My aunts and my mom, they was all doing a line dance. And I told Aunt, I said, this how we used to keep ourselves busy when we were slaves. They used to watch us and we would be over here all knowing how to do the same dance. And did you see how
and
when
they used to tell, and them dances used to be,
I think it was symbolic when we was dancing, when they showed the black people dancing in the fence, that's the first time that you see the embers fall. And that's the first time you see the vampires like looking at them like.
Which was dope because I was having a real black moment, right? I was having a very, it was so much culture that I love the way I wrote it down because I said I ain't gonna be able to say it. I said, aside from the execution of a vampire thriller film, Coogler's hidden cultural messages baked under the surface of the script is what makes it special. Because you can very easily say it's just like From Dusk Till Dawn, or it's basically this. If you don't understand the cultural messages because they may not be for you.
And Terrell, okay, so this is my thing, Terrell. You don't like how much that Terrell doesn't like, and look, being transparent sometimes helps. Terrell doesn't like how you saying this, you're pointing too much out about black culture, but low key, a lot of the key great points about it, you really won't get unless you're a black American.
I was telling Terrance, there's a lot of black American culture in the film. I told him, the nigga just did a video on David Oyelowo. I don't want our reaction to turn into you trying to prove. We get it.
Yeah.
You done made the point and you all right. But, bro, there's so much cultural messaging that if you don't really even try, you can miss it. Like, there's a couple of things I'll let you know, like, that stuck out to me. The fact that, first of all, when them 3 white people came to the door, who was the one motherfucker that was like, we should talk to him?
Who?
The white girl.
Yeah.
And it's the thing. Her grandfather 3/4 black. She's family. But I just think it's very...
Not 100%, yeah. She gonna be the most trusting of all of us.
The white girl was the one that went out there and said, let me go talk to him, bring him money. She ended up being low-key...
The reason...
The infiltration started with you. Because if you don't do that, Cornbread don't, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everything is a domino of you coming back. Say all the way down the stack. But like, I thought it was dope how one brother who's with this black woman, she, is spiritual, and his end is he's free from this world that's trapped him here. The dude that chose the white girl, who low-key blew up the whole spot anyway, he got stuck on Earth away from the light, having to live a life outside of the light, but he was with the white girl. I thought it was very intentional how certain things happen if you just think about it. Think about it. The white girl ended up being the reason we all got taken down. You know what I'm saying? I think it just made me think about that age-old, and I am not on no segregationist shit. It's just a black culture thing when you grew up around how a black mom would talk to you about white women, low-key, not on the racist shit. But like we did have to kind of learn, and like it is a dangerous.
It's a dangerous thing.
It's a dangerous game because
back in the day they could take advantage of it.
Yeah, and think about it. You being in there ended up being used almost like a threat. Think about it.
Yeah.
Yo, what happened if we go back and tell them that you got her up in here? Then it's like, hold on, wait. Once again, us. She family. She been with us her whole life. She family. That's why you could go to there's certain black families that have a Asian man who might be from somewhere he ain't black at all. But he say nigga and all of that, but he's they family. You can't tell them nothing about him.
Nah, yeah, she started moving through the juke because she knew everybody.
And so there's that. There's also the fact, the Asian chick, the Chinese woman, and her husband, right, and their roles in the community, and how we were talking about how our relationships sometimes be transactional with the motherfucker that own the carryout. It's a transactional relationship. You only in the hood, not because, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you here, and we all here, but like, our relationship with you is very, you give me money, I give you food. Like, we don't give a fuck about each other at all. There is no sense of community, right?
Yeah.
But I like how in this movie, him and that couple, I'm sorry, the twins and that couple, they have a relationship, right?
Yeah.
It seems like, oh, okay, this is more of a community. Like, it seems like these guys go back.
Yeah. But you could tell it was a transactional relationship from their first encounter.
Yeah.
When she had him get his wife, we had her get her wife, she was like, we need a sign. Okay, bet. Well, I'm charging you. Like, it's not just like, okay, anything for you. It was business like how it's always been with us and them.
But at the very end, what happened?
When
When her best interest was challenged, she sacrificed everybody.
Yep.
I don't give a fuck.
Yep.
Let them all come in. And so we thought that was kind of symbolic as well. It made me think about the evolution of the dude on Do the Right Thing. When he was like, I'm with y'all type shit, but just so y'all don't burn my shit down. Like, I'm like y'all type
It's
shit.
crazy you thought about Do the Right Thing because I thought about Do the Right Thing. I thought about how, Spike Lee threw the trash can through the window and said, hey, that's the start of the end of Sal's Pizzeria. That was the start. That's the end. The barking from outside turned into action after the trash can got thrown. So when she started baking the Molotov, I'm thinking she just about to go out there and throw it. When she said, come in, motherfucker. So whatever she said, me and Aunt looked at each other with the silent.
Of course. And it just
Here
go
we
to show
go.
that when a relationship is no longer transactional or don't benefit, sometimes we feel like y'all will just sacrifice our whole shit for what y'all got. Because think about it. Your husband already turned, you know he turned.
And you know he turned. And you out there acting like.
You don't give a fuck if Shorty, who was the singer, got family at home. You don't care about, you ain't think about Sammy family. Nobody. She literally, oh, that's the, what's her name? Felt like it was a motherfucking earthquake in this
That's what I'm
bitch.
saying.
But I thought that was symbolic. There's something there. I gotta look at it a little bit more. But
Let me say this real quick before you move on for the Chinese.
oh yeah,
Chinese
my
man.
bad. Don't let me step.
One piece of pushback I'm going to give y'all. One piece. I just have to say it. I did not like their accents. I felt like Shorty sounded like the girl from Twitter that went trending when she was saying cornbread. When her Asian husband was like, cornbread's right here. Come on, we gon' go to the car. I'm like, hey, yo. Hey, RC. No. This is what I told
I didn't
Aunt.
even think about
Aunt
that.
was like, well, they were around us back then and they might have picked up our lingo. Candace and Aunt were like, well, the time back then. I said, y'all, I get it. And it's not a bad thing. Me, though, in my belief, one thing about them, we have always heard Asian. You know how they show the Asian that got the Lord, she got like a black swing?
Yeah.
They very rarely let go of their culture.
And
right?
when you look at the culture that they were serving, right?
Yeah.
It showed that they were a little bit more ingratiated in it, or so you think.
They were so ingratiated they were, but even when they ingratiate themselves deep in our culture, they live in our neighborhoods, they serve our food, they still sound like themselves for the most part. Which I don't think it was a bad, like I said,
Nah,
it's
you
just
right
a preference.
Nah,
though.
yeah. You're right.
Like also, there's another thing though, only one thing. I did not like how the woman seemed to be more powerful than the man. Because one thing about their culture, bro, them women lean on their man. Her man seemed like, I told her man seemed like a cool ass surfer type of.
He was
Asian
chill.
man.
He was super chill, but nah, he was in control though.
He
was in control.
He didn't give me a Chow Young fat vibe. You didn't give me like you was a killer.
Nah,
or
you
a
just
boss.
you just
You
also
just seemed
got,
like your wife was.
what's the name of that joint? The
main
Move
joint.
for Love. What's the joint?
In the Move for Love.
Yeah. Remember the woman in that? Toe to toe.
Terrell, no, but a man. That's why I said the only pushback I will give is it seemed like she was the head honcho. She was the whatever. She ain't even listened to her husband for real. He was too smooth. He was like the nigga from Tokyo Drift.
I don't think so, and that's disrespectful.
I thought he should have been. Damn, yeah, you're right. But only mean in a good way. He was a cool motherfucker. All right. I just felt like he should have been a little bit more like, you know how they are. They do not trust us like that. It ain't buddy
But
like.
Terrance, but that's the beauty
And
of
they
what he
started
did.
coming out in the end. She said, yo, they brought us here to make this. They didn't bring us here for this.
Nah,
We
for
need to go.
sure. But it's the thing. She wasn't all the way wrong, and you can still mask it as, what do you mean? She wanted to go get her daughter. That's the beauty in the filmmaking, and that's where
sure.
where the cultural message will hide.
No, Terrell, even through the whole joint, she was more powerful than him.
Terrance, I don't think so. He made her make that sign and everything.
He
Her ass didn't control
asked
shit.
his wife. I'm about to go
He
get your
said,
wife.
yo, I need you to make a sign for them. They about to give us this bread. I do think.
Look, y'all, if
Okay,
I go back and
right.
forth with Terrell, it's going to look like I'm hating. I just said it's a preference.
And it's also not right for you to pay all their relationships like they just, man just need to be what? What needed to happen for you to be believable? Did the man need to tell his woman, yeah, like what? Like what needed to happen? That's not how they all are, Terrance. This is almost
not
like
saying that. I'm just saying in my preference, I just kind of felt like because of the move she made at the end, you know what I'm saying? I challenge that with the fact that she was like that the whole movie. That's kind of that might speak to an expositional peek into what she needed to do because she was a boss the whole movie. I'm not mad at her being a boss.
Anyway, y'all, we've been talking about the movie for an hour. We can talk about it for another fucking hour, to be honest. I will say this though,
oh, we're not done. Favorite scenes.
The very end of the film, right?
Yeah.
Oh no, I wanted to say this. There is something there between. Maybe I look too far, right? Maybe I look way too far in. I look at the devil gonna come for you. My father told me you was gonna come for me type shit. Like, they put Sammy in a real special messenger type, prophet type role. Think about it. If you think about it, like his character in the film.
Yeah.
Because his music is low-key what ended up saving him.
Yeah.
All the way, think about it. You start the movie with his father telling him to drop the guitar. And then by the end, you realize he never drops the guitar. Some people feel like, I seen this thing on TikTok, shout out to bruh. Some people feel like that was him selling his soul to the devil type shit. Because in the end, he doesn't have a reflection. People were talking about how in the very end, Michael B. Jordan doesn't have a reflection. But what's the name don't have a reflection?
How do y'all know? Oh, in the glasses?
In the glass of the bar, behind the bar. The bartender, you see the bartender's reflection? You don't see these two niggas' reflections. And a lot of people feel like maybe that last end credit scene where he's sitting there looking up, maybe he ended up selling his soul. Maybe that was God. Maybe we don't know. So it's a whole bunch of
my God.
There's a whole bunch of different ways you can
about
look at
that, y'all.
But I also
and
look
I'm gonna
at
say this though.
But see, hold on, wait. This is
he
my
told his father was telling him to put that down.
Mm-hmm.
He did not do that.
He did not. He kept it. It ended up saving his life though. And he ended up
How do we know it saved his life?
Nigga, he killed Ramick with it. He smacked him over the head with it, and that was like the last blow.
Oh, because he ended up... Terrell, he kept the guitar after all of that shit. Think about it. He went to his father's church. That was after everything. He had the end of it.
That's what I mean. That is when people say...
Terrell, no, that's when his father told him put that down, and he didn't.
Right. That's why I say in the beginning of the film...
Oh, the music saved his life.
Yeah. When he tells him to put it down and he hesitates in the very beginning, we don't know what the fuck wrong with him.
Yeah, we don't know what's wrong with him.
But by the end, when that scene come back, you just kind of, some people figure he overwhelmed by the whole weight of everything. But what I think was, he had to really think about that. I just saved like my life with this.
Yeah.
And then when you think about the movie being called Sinners, and there's this concept of a young man who saves these people from the devil's tricks with his music, and his father sent him, or his father told him that this would happen type shit.
Mm-hmm.
I think about shit like that, bro. I think about...
His cousins are the sinners. His cousins do all the sinners.
The sinners are all of the people, yeah. We are all... Everybody is a sinner.
It's almost like, no pun intended, I know y'all still heavy on the beef. It's almost like Sammy is the good kid in a mad city. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
And
Absolutely.
he's also giving that... He's got like the backpack role. One thing that I will say... damn, what did you just say about Sammy that I wanted to say?
Was it about him being with the music and the
one thing that I told On,
because he ended up getting old, remember?
Because he ended up getting older.
And I love that, by the way. I guess we could go there. I love the fact that the end credit is older Sammy.
Older Sammy in 92.
That is where I was like, Terrance, when the movie went off, I said this is a great ass movie. That was the last time I saw my brother. That was the last time I saw the son, bro. My niece's name is Sonny, bro. That made my eyes water in the theater.
Yeah.
It was the last time I saw... Bro, I had to think about if I had to let this nigga Terrance go, like, and his whole family, whatever, that would be me.
Yeah.
Those are my lines. I thought about that. That's why in the end, bro, Terrance, I'm a twin. In the very end... Well, I don't want to say all that. Well, before we get to the end...
Go ahead. You want to go...
In the very end... When Sammy's there and they say, oh, these two people want to come in. And then the dude says, oh, you guys can come in. Me and Gigi thought they vampires. They were just invited in.
They were just invited in.
So when we think it's gonna be Ramick, it's gonna be that white boy to kill him. When you see Haley Steinfeld and then you see the silhouette of the Gumby Michael B. Jordan, man. And then when he
Candace said, "Who thought I needed to see Michael B. Jordan in a so and so in a cool
she like Michael B. Jordan.
You need to get her reaction. She said, "I needed to see that scene with
the Tommy gun.
The
She
Tommy
loved it.
gun.
Yeah,
I've been waiting for that.
She just loved Michael B. But this is my thing, Terrance. What he ends up saying, I already knew and felt, which was, I watched Smoke over you with that sharp end of whatever that was that he was about to drive through your head because you was a vampire. But we never see him do it, right? And so
the moment there was so cold too.
Yeah,
when he was like, "I've been trying to save your ass all these years."
Yeah,
and
bro.
he said something like, "You don't gotta feel bad because you did it."
And I told Gigi, I said, "Can you imagine if that was my life and Terrance get bit by An, who went and got bit, and she's a vampire, she run out, and Terrance is in there, and he dying type shit. And he literally dies in my arms. I walk out of the room, and then 10 minutes later, Terrance is like, Terrell, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? Open the door. It's me. What the fuck?
You're not gonna let me in, bro?
That's gonna be tough for me, bro. And that's why in the very end, when Stack walk in and say, he told me he couldn't kill me, but he told me,
let you live.
Just let you live and just leave you alone. Let you live your life and don't fuck with you. That made me feel something here because I said, I don't know if I could drive that through Terrance. I would tell Terrance the same thing. I'm gonna let your black ass stay alive, but you better stay away from all of us. You stay away from Sammy, and you let him live. And you know what?
As twins, we know. If I could make a promise to Terrell, I felt like he could keep it in the next one.
Yes. And that was it for me.
And when we had a convo before we saw Sinners, remember I told you, I said, bro, if I go, what I told you? This is something that y'all don't even know for the podcast. But I literally just told you, I said, bro, I'm going to be on the other side looking for shit. I'm going to need you meet me there when you get there.
We just had a deep-ass combo the other night. I'm telling you. And honestly, I've been having way too many deep combos. I need a break.
Yeah.
Because But this movie, what it did for me is it made me feel validated in that. It made me feel like they got the twin thing right.
Yes.
Like it felt like, I feel like I could tell Terrance, don't kill such and such, bro. I'm not going to kill you because fuck it. You just live your life as a vampire because fuck it. But don't
touch crew.
Don't touch these motherfuckers, whatever. I feel like if I tell anybody that, they may not keep my word. But I feel like if I tell Terrance that, he will 100% keep my word. He will keep it. I know he will.
And that's why Michael B. Jordan deserved that Oscar, man. He made me believe also as a twin that they had the same connection we got. And from a twin, I feel like that's a major review for that film. That's job well done. I told An, I see so many movies. This is another thing. I told An, this is a twin film. One of the twins is gonna go evil. It's gonna be evil twin versus good twin. They will never get away from that cliche. But the way that they did it was great. It was great to watch Michael B. Jordan do that. That was so dope. One of my favorite scenes, I'm gonna say this before we get out of the movie parts. One of my favorite scenes in the movie is actually the very first time that he sees Annie, which is, what's her name? Wonmi Mosaku. When he first meets her, I did a video on the overnight scenario. I believe it's episode 5 or 6. Where I talked about power. I used the scene in Drumline. That is the scene that I always look for in a movie. What's my power scene where there's a volley for power? And there's a lot of it, but what's the golden one for me? That's the one I look for. It's that scene. When he shows up, he had already been powerful. He had already done shot 2 dudes for touching his truck. When we see her, you know what time it is. You already know when a man is with his woman. When we first start that scene, he's knelt down in front of the grave, right? And you saw the little hand. And me and An looked at each other and said, damn. So we know what that means. Yeah. Right? So immediately we're starting with you weak. This is your weakness. This is like me sitting in front of the mirror. You ever see the superhero in front of the mirror or the girl in front of the mirror? She wiped all her makeup off. She looks ugly as fuck. That's the part where the character's sitting in a weakness. This is where we're supposed to see you for what you really are. So when we see him for what he really is, we don't see it. It gets revealed. This is a cliche in movies. You don't see the man for who he really is. It gets revealed by who? His woman, who has seen it before all of us. Everybody in the world, their world, and who? The viewer. Yep. You know?
How do you feel about that? Because a lot of people would feel like that's, what do they call it? It's not clunky exposition. It's actually a good way to give exposition on your character without just saying, come on, John, you know you lost your leg in 3rd grade.
Come on. Every single main character, what does every main character have, Trey? We talked about this. Or we didn't. But we talked earlier about a main character and a lead character and what he needs to have a good lead. He needs a why. A lead character needs a why. We really didn't even really get Sammy's why. We know about his father, but I mean, there's still some questions there. We really didn't even get Stack's why.
He loved that woman, but
still.
he
was still a freak nigga that could teach you some things about any woman, it seems. I feel like the best part of that movie is for both of these brothers to be so strong. We as black men know I'm sitting in there with the woman that does this to me. Mm-hmm. I'm sitting in there with the woman that makes me this way, that he had everything to say back to everybody in his life, but this woman, you could see him doubling his thoughts. It's little shit like that lets me know, okay, power's over here. He starts this big speech about how I done seen the world. I seen ships, cars. And what does it mean to me? Power. All of that shit, you low-key know you gotta do a lot in this world to go and get. And it's not impressive to this woman you got that. Mm-hmm. Your money don't impress me. It's a cliche of your money don't impress me. I need y'all to go back and watch the film. When you go back and look at it, listen to what Ryan Coogler does with the sound. The most powerful part of this movie is,
I think his name is Goranson that did
the score. The most powerful part of the movie is when she sees the voodoo on him. The little An calls it hoodoo. I think it's a real name.
The Gojo bag?
Yeah.
Or whatever it was called?
Yeah. And they have that moment with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Peep how her whole shit get blurry as fuck. And the bass and the music raises up and it's like, because this tension, like the way that he created tension, that tension created a separation for power, right? To me. Almost like Moses splitting the Red Sea. I know I'm kind of rapping.
You good.
But in that moment with the tension, right?
Uh-huh.
She says something about like the hoodoo and how, yo, this is how I'm going to be able to see like the next world. Like, this is how this is the way that I know things. And you might not have ever fucked with it type shit, but this is how I do that. He literally said something that he knew he was a bitch ass nigga for saying it. And he felt bad as soon as he said it and gave her the power, y'all. Remember when I told you about how they take power? This is a situation where, fellas, what do we do all the time? Your girl tell you take the trash out. I mean, I'm asking you, man, I'm asking you, say, oh my God, you keep fucking asking me, fuck it, I'll do it. What did you just do? You just gave your girl the power because you lost your cool. What does he say to her? Did the voodoo shit help you bring your baby back? All of the blurriness in her frame goes clear. I looked up what Anna said, this is the best scene in the movie. That's the most powerful scene in the movie. Because
it's a sleeper too, though.
That same voodoo you ended up asking me for. How dare you, low-key? You disrespected your own unborn kid, and then you said, any of that mad that you got from my brother, you got one of those bags from my brother? She could have buried you. And he knows that. Son.
And that was his
that's
bottom.
That's
just lost
bottom. That's why he's crying watching her die. That's why in the end of the movie, he's going to her. That's why she's home. That's why in the end, when he's looking at sweet revenge, just like Django Unchained seeing Broomhilda, while he was doing all his shit, he see his woman.
Did you see how when he went to grab for the baby first, she was like, no, I don't want you to get none of that smoke on him. Love that. Or go ahead and put that smoke out or something.
She said, you can hold her when you put that cigarette out.
When you can put that cigarette out. His name is Smoke. Woo! Ryan was in his
but he got the fire in his hand.
And look.
Fire in my hand.
And I need to put that motherfucker out.
When I put the cigarette out. When I put out what's killing me. When we go deeper. When I put out what is killing out people.
Yeah. I will say this. Big shout out to Ryan Coogler being resourceful, and I think it is a testament to networking and how, if you look at Ryan Coogler's relationship with Christopher Nolan, how he thanked Christopher Nolan, and you look at Ryan Coogler's relationship with Ludwig Göransson, the composer, who worked on Wakanda Forever. Well, he also was the composer on Tenet and was just the composer on Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
So like, I'm sending you
my
one of
God.
my. I'm giving you
I got
one
an
of.
Oppenheimer moment,
Yeah.
low key.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's it.
I'm giving you one of my guys. That's why, like, the thanks to Christopher Nolan, like,
He really did that.
he really, like, definitely, look, think about it. Was Wakanda Forever shot in 70? No. But think about if what we can assume, this isn't official, but it seemed like there's some type of apprenticeship, mentorship going with Christopher Nolan and Ryan Coogler, because they now sharing some of the same guys. Don't be surprised if the next, well, even though Coogler gonna stay with Autumn. But
but
to
look,
see now Ryan Coogler, now you so big in the now you the next motherfucker
look at the
with
chess
7.
move. Look, first off, I'm number 1 now. Let's just go ahead and just call it what it is. My man QT, he had his glory days of whatever. Nolan is low-key number 1 guy.
Yeah.
It ain't Denny. It's Nolan. It's when
Nolan.
I put my pen down. I've been doing this shit since back then. I'm still doing it.
Yeah.
He's the number 1. And Brody, what is he a champion of? Film.
Yeah.
And you the Marvel Black? And
And
you about to
bruh,
go film?
Somebody tried to
yeah.
tell me, oh yeah, but Jonathan Nolan's wrote this and that. What about Jonathan Nolan did this? Jonathan Nolan write for me. That's like if y'all said, oh, Terrell's movies are gonna be Terrell's movies are great, but I mean Terrance is writing half of them. Nigga, he gonna write the script and who gonna direct?
Yeah,
me.
we gonna be in this joint like that.
I'm still going. Like, think about it. Like, that's still under the Chris Nolan umbrella.
Yeah.
Like, you don't get John without Chris, and low key, you don't get Chris without John. These motherfuckers went hand in hand, but they are still that Nolan package. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, I love to see Ryan tapping into that, bro. I loved it, man. Loved the film. And just to say, bro, the shit that tied it all together for me made me cry. At the very end when he was like, man, I don't like none of this new school shit. You got some of that, you still know that old school? I thought he was just gonna play something. When the nigga started playing the song that he played Stack
In
the
the car.
Traveling.
And they go to the point where he looked at him and was like, woo, we about to make so much money.
I said, Cinema, my boy Elijah.
Now, let me say this last, Terrell.
Go ahead, T.
Well, finish your points and I'll get my final thoughts. Go ahead. Your boy
I wanted
Elijah.
to say what Elijah had said back to me, because I hit my boy Elijah. We went to Full Sail together. Shout out Eli.
Shout
I know
out
he
E.
watches the pod sometime. Hopefully see this. I hope you don't mind me reading this, but he said, as a new father named Elijah, when Smoke was dying and he saw his wife and baby in the afterlife, I was like, man, don't do this to me. That is his. Think about that, right? He said, I was already emotional through the movie just because of how beautiful it was as an experience.
Yeah.
But like, this movie touched people in ways
Bro,
that
as
we haven't seen films touch people in a minute. And like you said, for
Brody, I ain't gonna lie. The tears were here. I almost like I looked over and he's got the crocodile tears. The worst thing that I could have done would be drop a tear next to she would never let me forget that tear. She looking at me like this the whole time. But like when he held his daughter and he said, Papa's here. I'm waving up there. I'm waving up there. My tears are there. I'm looking. I'm like, please don't do nothing else. Because that's my every single day. That's my, like, yo, we as men, and if you're a father, you know this. You fight that battle of life yourself. That's not wifey fight. That's not the kids fight. It's my fight, but we fighting for them, bro.
Yeah.
And they don't know that. Sometimes we come home, we be pissed off. You ever get pissed off with your girl? Fellas, I don't know if you ever did this. You ever catch an attitude with your girl? I'll even catch an attitude with Ella, the dog. Like, and be like, they don't have no idea what stupid shit you going through, you dumb nigga.
Yeah.
They don't deserve your little bullshit ass attitude. And sometimes, fellas, that is what we need to keep our house together.
Yeah.
You need to be
Sometimes-
able to do that.
Yeah. Sometimes that spell, and we got to control it because we shouldn't put the weight, we shouldn't let the weight of our world become a negative experience for our family. Think about it.
And this
T.
is all men. This
And,
not
and
yeah.
any kid grown up will tell you, when mom and dad were struggling, I remember how it was.
Yeah, I remember how that shit felt. Yeah.
Like, oh, like,
shit was hell.
not fun. Y'all depressed, which makes us feel like, damn, these motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like, even when we be in our rut, like, men, like, try and make shit happen, like, this motherfucker sitting there with a bullet wound saying that shit. Like, it's so symbolic of so much that we gotta face to get back. To get to that point. Where sometimes we don't make it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, and that's just me with one watch. That's you with one watch. That's you seeing the juke for the first time and having to take it all in, but not being able to look at all of the intricacies. Shout out to everybody that's on their second, third watch, man. I will 100% be going to see it at IMAX. I'm about to tell G, what you doing?
I'm about to go see it.
I'm about to go to the movies and see that. She gonna be sick though. She gonna make. I'm probably taking with me. I have to drop crew off. Anyway,
I'll say this, y'all, for my closing thoughts, and I've been holding this till essentially till the end. I almost cried at the end of that movie, and I told An. She said, "I know what part it was." No, you don't. She thought it was going to be the part where she said when the brother died. I said, "Nope, that don't make me cry." I seen movies where a twin died. I seen stories where the twins passed. I've already dealt with that. You know what I mean? Now I'm not gonna sit in the movie and cry for that. I didn't. She said, "Okay, so you cried at the end with the daughter." I said, "No." Mind you, I want to just give y'all a peek into our life when he has the gun drawn on the leader of the Ku Klux Klan at the end, right? And you hear the baby right here. Mind you, me and An just left Sonny home with Candace. Shout out to KP for babysitting, but like my baby is here all day. And you know what it's like, Terrell, as a new parent to just get out of the crib away from your kid. And it's just y'all two. I swear to God, you can hear the baby, and of course that's his wife and baby in the afterlife. Me and An look at each other with the where is Sonny look. Like for a split second. And we were like, oh, that's the movie. Oh, he has a baby. Like, we called it like that because we was like, oh shit. We immediately started looking for our shit.
Yeah.
I only want to say this one last thing. That part did not make me cry. What part made me cry, Terrell? It was what made me love the movie from start to finish. It was the music. I had no idea that it would be so musically driven. If you watch this podcast, you know that I say the best person, let me tell you, the standout performance in the movie is the only character without a name. And that is the music. This movie's not good without this music. If you take the music out of this movie, the movie is completely different. The way that this music sits in this movie, I've told y'all, music is not what? It is not a wallpaper. Just because we going to New York don't mean we gotta play Empire State of Mind. That's the best example I can give you. Ryan Coogler had a movie with a premise of a story where music was able to be a character in the room. You had a juke joint. You can learn about this level, that level. He can tell you about old school. They even killed a motherfucker with the guitar. I told An, what made me cry almost at the end of the movie, I had my tears right here, is when his father is telling him to drop the guitar, right? Put the guitar down, right? I told An, after everything we watched in this movie, there's no way he puts that guitar down. The juke joint. Him saying that like he was flying when he was doing that. He fell in love with a woman who sang. Music is everything in the movie and in Sammy's life, so much so that he ends the movie by dedicating his life to it. And I feel like we as black people, music did that for a very big majority of our community, whether we were listening to it, whether we were going to listen to it, going to our own juke joints. I feel like
it's the reason everybody listen to music how we listen to music now.
Right. It's the reason why at a juke joint like you've seen in that pivotal scene, why we can transcend eras and why we all can always keep this thing going, because it don't matter the color change of the music. It's always been the vessel that brought us together. Bro, music is the most beautiful part of film, and it is the most beautiful part of Sinners. Easy.
And when you think about other directors that understand that, you think Martin Scorsese. It's funny. I was watching Wolf of Wall Street, right? Because I'm trying to figure out a video for the first scene of the film, right?
Okay, yeah.
Because that scene sets the tone for the entire film. It's the wildest fucking first scene of Marty's career, right? It's naked. It's crack. It's drugs. It's sex. It's all types of hellish shit. It's midgets getting. Small people getting thrown at the. But it's funny because you know that song by Dusty or whatever. This motherfucker starts singing under Leo, and I said, this would be jarring to the film head that says, I can hear the lyrics of the song under the dialogue. Like, normally people use instrumental. But with Marty, I'm going to just use the song because Marty using that song as a vehicle to get you from this scene to the next scene. That's why you hear that song and then you get the horn and you get the Bay Ridge and then we back to the boat and now back to the present. It's all about helping pace the film. And that's why I think it was such a great move. Partnering with Ludwig Göransson, but being the Oakland black dude to helm the film. It's the same reason why Black Panther, the first Black Panther, and I think this film, and we'll end it here.
No, you can keep going.
This film made me have way more respect for what Coogler did with Black Panther. Because you start realizing
his style
after
like
every
what he,
film,
yeah.
This is just what he do. And maybe if somebody else would have did Black Panther, we may not have gotten that performance.
And I can't believe he went so musically deep with it. I can't believe he did the research for the juke joint. I can't believe he even chose to do this. I can't believe that he chose to incorporate like all of the generations of music in the way that he did. Cause Ryan Coogler don't really seem like the most musical guy. I mean, even in his movies. You see how he said he got Kendrick to do one song, Kendrick sent back a whole like an album.
He seemed like he fucked with music, but he definitely seemed like he taking a little bit more of a backseat to it. But I think one thing you can't deny about Ryan Coogler when he talk is he loves the expression of art. Music, film, painting, don't matter. He's a man of the arts, bro.
And what did I tell you I didn't like about Ryan Coogler before in every interview that I've seen, and what I said, I feel like this brother is not talking enough about what story we about to go watch. Like, I want to see people say, okay, when you sat down to make your movie, where did you end up on, okay, I got two twin, revolutionary guys that, what I'm saying, want to open a juke joint, Where did you get there? Like, how did you get to that part of your story? Somebody send me that interview if he has already answered that, because I'm sure he's on a tour right now. But I was scared that that we'd get lost in all of the wow of it, and it wouldn't have a good story. But it actually had a great story. Because think about this in the end, Terrell. Did you peep how in the end, and this is from people who didn't really get it, in the end, we find out that they were gonna all die anyway.
We never talked about that.
And we never talked about that.
It was a setup from the beginning.
It was a setup from the beginning. Sell him the joint so we can go and kill them later.
And you know what it felt like, bro? It felt like there were, how we watch films, TV shows, when it's like, they just like cut this corner, but cool. I never had that moment where it felt like a corner was cut. Even when it was going from
I felt like a one specific corner was cut.
There was a specific corner cut. I feel like I know which one you're talking about. Which one was it? Well, we said, okay, this could have been whatever, but
when they start letting them motherfucking vampires in, I said it ain't no way y'all regular asses is fighting them off. Y'all ain't done none of the exercise or stretch. It ain't no way y'all fighting them off. But y'all, I said it's a movie.
It's a movie. And then look, it's a vampire film. It's so funny when people say, this isn't fucking real. That would never happen. People say there would never be vampires.
Yeah, I'm about to do the most.
But
Terrell, that scares me about the Oscar run. It scares me about the whole Oscar race. They don't like to give love to the sci-fi movies. And do y'all know how we felt about From Dusk Till Dawn? No pun intended. Or not trying to compare, but From Dusk Till Dawn was Academy Award level all the way up until what? Until the vampires. All the way up until Richard Roundtree nose go wild.
Getting ready to say.
It was like, what are we watching? This was good until...
It's so good. It's so...
I mean, it's not bad when the vampires come, but you definitely go from watching an intense thriller to...
And you felt you watching an old Mortal Kombat. It's like, what the fuck is this? Yo, that joint was crazy, but it's a classic.
We didn't say this. The special effects.
Yes.
When bruh's neck was hanging off. Ann said she gonna have nightmares about cornbread for a minute.
He was scary as shit. And you know what? His scene, they teased that a lot. Like in the, thought I could hear myself. His scene, they teased that a lot in the trailer, but it still was good in the theater. Cause you knew he was gonna turn. You knew.
Yeah.
And I thought that was dope though. I thought how they played on the nigga invite me in.
Yeah.
I fuck with that, bro. But y'all, we have talked about this film for an hour and 30 at least. I don't even know what the real number is. But if you haven't seen it, definitely, I have been saying from the beginning, I have been supporting these two brothers since 2013 to see their relationship culminate into what I feel like is going to be the film of the year.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so happy for them two again. I was happy for y'all too when Black Panther came out and we did it with Chadwick. You know what I'm saying? But that was still me happy for Chadwick, but my guy Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan again. The fact that they gave us this, and now that I have this performance, when Terrance try to talk shit about my guy MBJ,
yeah, okay. MBJ is also my guy. Terrell is just more of a accept anything and run with it type of dude. I want y'all to hear this loud and clear. Y'all know I can be a tough critic, man. Terrell thinks that I could be even tougher on our own stuff. And maybe there's a level of that that's true. I like to say I'm passionate about film, and I like to say I'm even more passionate about ours. For the niggas in the comments that are like, Terrance acts like he made the best film ever, I would say it might seem like that, y'all, but understand I went to school for this. I just talk like it sometimes. If you talk to the nigga about a certain thing that he went to school for, he just gonna sound a little bit more annoying because he's definitely looking at a different thing. So I don't want y'all to get annoyed with me, but I want y'all to hear this. I'm telling you, this motherfucker is golden.
Yeah.
Golden.
Yeah.
Golden. Everything that I've been looking for, and they did it without trauma in it. Y'all would have think that I would be hating this, right? Man, go see that movie. You got to.
The same way I felt walking out of Django Unchained, I felt walking out of that joint. The same way I felt walking out of the first Black Panther, I felt walking out of
Yes. First Black Panther. I felt so good that me and An got to watch that together, and I get to tell Sonny when she older, me and your mother, when you was born, your aunt watched you, we went and saw that. You know, mom was like, we went and saw, I don't know, something in the theater.
Bro, yeah. Dope, man. Shout out to everybody. Put your thoughts in the comments. Any theories? What do y'all think? I know this whole pod ended up being Sinners. Damn. That's how good the movie was, y'all. We'll be right back to y'all next week. Definitely join the Patreon.
Join the Patreon if you want a part 2 of this, man. If you want to watch me get into British actors and Black American actors and the relationship with that and the things that have happened and that conversation, that sticky conversation, it ain't no hate, but we giving it up for real on the
Patreon.
Yes, sir.
Now that I'm getting ready to hit this.
Hey, who did you think that you were more like in the movie? Do you think you was more like
You're
Smoke?
100% Stack. I'm Smoke.
I was 100% Smoke. I told Aunt from day one that I was Smoke.
Me and Terrance have gone through this, y'all, since we were little. When we watch Toy
Story. Who are you? You're Woody.
Buzz. No, I'm Buzz. This is my life. It doesn't matter.
Terrell, you will be Stack because you a freak ass nigga when you were younger. There's that. I've always been the type to have a relationship. I have a baby girl. You have a son.
I thought they had a boy. They had a son.
But he said Papa's his daughter. That was his daughter. He said
thought it was a boy.
You can hold her if you put the cigarette out.
I could have sworn it was a boy.
I don't think it was a boy, Terrell. I believe it was a girl very much.
Boy. Maybe I'm just boy brain, girl brain.
Either way, it was funny. I told An, I said, I'm the blue one. Terrell can be the...
Everybody, yeah, of course. I ain't Smoke, nigga. Terrance, ask them. All right, if y'all seen the movie.
Ask An who she thought that I was.
All right, bet. If y'all have seen the movie, we'll end with this. Who do y'all think is who?
Who is Smoke?
Terrance would be Smoke, and I would be Stack.
Now, I want y'all to think about when Smoke told him, we not running a... Remember he said, hey, we running a business here. We ain't running no charity. And then Stack was like, hey, this the first night. There's going to be more nights like this. And his girl was like, I looked at An, I said, that's me, you, and Terrell every day. Both of y'all motherfuckers. Y'all don't know it be me versus Terrell and
Terrance, you are more like Stack. You're more of that.
See, you think I'm crazy.
You like Michael B. Jordan in Black Panther. Boy.
Now, you know he sold me because Terrell, he had every opportunity to go nuts in this role. I said, uh-oh. Now that he's a vampire, he about to start going crazy.
No bullshit.
I'm going to kill you, didn't you?
No, that was rough. All right, y'all, we out of here, man. The weather is breaking. We getting hotter days. Just be careful. Take your vitamin C. You can still get sick. Terrance, anything quick?
NBA playoffs, baby. Let's lock in.
Big shout out to Ontario, Canada. Next time. Gang.